Alright, now this is another Myoko game. This one I can't remember too well. I think it was one of my early recordings, but I did put that I smoke charged in this, so I can always talk about that a little bit more. And then after this, I'll have one more replay, which is mostly going to be just for fun replay, where I show how Battleship detonates. So you can look forward to that. So who was I with? I was with Captain Mike. Oh yes, I remember this one. This is when Mike had a really bad computer, and I was introducing myself to my Division XO and playing around with him a little bit. He is in the Moss, I am in the Myoko. This is a Tier 7 match with a few Tier 6s. We're still top tier, but it's not as hilarious as when their whole team is Tier 5. But that's alright. We can still get some good stuff out of this. Oh yes, my analysis. 1 second. There we go. No, that was weird. For some reason I couldn't do it before when I was paused. Whatever. So they have Colorados, they have King George's, Gneisenau, Queen Elizabeth. It's almost an exact mirror match, which is very interesting. The only difference is a Dunkirk and a Fuso. I would prefer the Fuso, but that's the hand we're given. And we have Myoko versus an Atlanta. Long range versus close range. I'd rather be in the Myoko than in Atlanta, so that works well in my favor. They do have a Molotov and an Nuremberg. If the Molotov knows what he's doing, he can make life hell for our DDs. But fortunately, if I remember, I don't think they really do. Which is good. And this is just DD City. We have a Jervis, a Moss, a Gallant, a Shinome, and a Fusion. And they have a Jervis, Shiratsuyu, Icarus, Agile, and also Fusion. I think I like ours a little bit better, just because Moss is Hydro and Shiratsuyu isn't especially good at gunboating. Actually, they have an Icarus, and I like that better than the Gallant. It's kind of a toss-up. So we'll continue to go. Now, Captain Mike is going to go B, I believe, and I'm going to go ahead and go into this little alcove right here. So I can cover the entire battlefield and get into cover if I need to. And that's what I mean by close support, which is support your DDs, but don't be too crazy about it. Don't do it to the detriment of your own health. There are plenty of ways to lower the fields of fire that enemies can shoot you at while you're supporting your DDs. So if I go right here, like right here roughly, because then I won't be able to be torped from this side, I can't get shot from this side, and I can get shots out on this side. Once again, that is making sure that your fields of fire are clear. And also to make sure that you can be shot by as few people as possible, because I don't want to get shot from here and here. That's a crossfire, and that will kill you dead super quick. Alright, Jervis is going there. Mike's going around the right side of the island. We'll speed it up a little bit. There we go, I'm detected by a DD, and aimed at by a DD2 because he doesn't have anyone else to aim at. Actually, with the George, I think. And luckily, he rolls Snake Eyes in the RNG lottery, so I don't need to worry about that, but that could have hurt quite a bit. Luckily, it was HE and not AP, otherwise I could have done much more damage. Yep, so I can't see through that smoke, so I decided to change my field of fire over here to the Agile. Sadly, Miyoko's guns turn really slow, and he gets in smoke too. And there's the Atlanta. And I would like to hit the Atlanta because, as I said, I just like hitting Atlantas. Luckily, he is going slowly into cover. I think he thinks he's safe, but luckily the island blocks his view so he doesn't see me. Yep, there we go. That's a pretty good volley. And now he's really getting his ass in gear. There we go. So we aim forward a little bit to about max we can before he gets behind there. And we kill him and get the first blood. Right there I was seeing if that guy was going to run into me or not. Here comes some torps, but the torps fizz out, so that's good. The Agile's still over there, so I decided to make him my next target, because as you can see over here, Mike and the rest of the boys are fine. I need to worry about this side because they're pushing it pretty damn hard. And now this is when I shoot really, really badly. Still learning. You should have seen my aim before I joined TSG4. It was freaking terrible. Now, I'm not saying it's good now, but it's certainly better. Yep, he slows down, unfortunately. And now I have my Nuremberg helping me, which is also good. He is turning, excellent. And Dispersion decides to troll me. And sadly they have the cap, which is not an ideal situation by any means. And finally my persistence pays off and I get one shot before he gets killed by the Gneisenau secondaries. Now they have Queen Elizabeth. As I said, Myoko is a good fire starter, so we're going to go ahead and try and burn him down. The Molotov right there is behind the island. You have to be very careful about the Molotov, because the Molotov has railguns. It's made of glass, but it has really, really fast guns, and that hurt really, really bad on citadels. Luckily, he isn't really focusing on me for some reason. There we go, I'm undetected again, so now I start my turn. You don't want to turn when you're still detected, because that tells the enemy what you're doing. And if they know what they're doing, like a tier 8 or 9, and shoot, then it's going to be very bad for you, because they'll probably still citadel you even while you're undetected. If you wait until you're undetected and then turn, then they don't know if you're still going straight or not. Always make sure that your enemy, always try and keep your enemy guessing about your intentions as much as you possibly can, because it lowers their options. There we go, Queen Elizabeth's still there, so I'm waiting for my guns to turn. As I said, the gun turret reverse rate on the Myoko is horrible, and this is with expert marksman. So that should tell you something. When this ship turns and it turns its guns one way, it wants to stay that way, and it doesn't really want to turn the other way. That can be used against you, because 9 times out of 10, a Myoko player will not turn because they have to worry about their guns so much. I usually do, just because it's unexpected, and that tends to save me some citadel hits, but you gotta be careful. So yep, the Queen Elizabeth is burning nicely. We're getting a little more on him. Sadly, I block line of sight, but the Jervis gets it back. Or that might have been the BB over there, the King George. So we look over there to see what's going on. The Colorado's over there. Sadly, the side is not looking super good. Some of our DDs died, but most of them just ran away. They punched in the nose pretty hard by the King George. Luckily, its AP is not the best. It's battleship AP, so it still hurts, but it's not devastating. There we go. I just showed that torp icon again. I didn't intend to fire the torps, I just did that to see which way he's going, so now I know he's going forward again, and that lets me adjust my aim. I didn't see that guy in chat do that when I actually was watching the game. I guess he can made my point for me too. There we go. We have torps on the Queen Elizabeth. Luckily I get out before he's able to actually hit me in the Citadel. He hits me in the ass, but at least it's not a Citadel hit. That Molotov's about to die, because he decided to go fight a BB. Which is good, because that means he can't do what he's best at, which is killing DDs. Now right there, he is undetected. But, right there, I just lit him on fire. Now, he was undetected before that fire actually started, because what fire does is it adds 2 kilometers to your surface detection range. Now, this is very important, especially for DDs, because your concealment is how you live. If people can see you, you die. So you have to make sure that they can only see you at very specific times when you allow it. So now that I've lit that King George on fire, then we can see him without him firing his guns. If he goes a little further, he'll be out of our range entirely, but he's probably going to panic and try and shoot one of us now, which will light him up for another 20 seconds. So right there shows the importance of fire and concealment. And I remember that I think that was why I also recorded this replay, is to show it in practice. Because he was gone. I couldn't see him. He could have just sailed up into wherever and healed up again. But since I put a fire on him, I now see him and I know what he's doing. we go, I switched to AP because he is showing me broadside. And cruisers can do some pretty good damage with hitting AP on battleship sides. The bigger the caliber guns, the better results you get, but in general, it's a good idea to use AP on broadsides, even if it's a battleship. There we go, we switch back to HE and we try and kill out Shira, but he turns. Now, heavy cruisers aren't as good at light cruisers at killing DDs just because their shell times are usually longer and they reload slower. So, we can't really kill the Shira until he reveals himself again, so I decided to go and try and burn down this Fusho. King George kills our King George, sadly, but ours kills his. I'm fine with that trade. Because now they just have 3 DDs and 2 BBs versus 3 BBs, 2 CLs, and 2 DDs. So we're good on ships, but unfortunately they're good on caps. So what I'm doing here is going into A so we can try and get this back a bit. And I also turned my Hydro on because I know that there's Shiratsuyu still over there, so I need to make sure that I know where his torps are coming. Because the Myoko is a very slow turner. It's a very clumsy ship. Now ideally you want to be in a situation... See, I was trying to turn, but I couldn't do it in time, so I got citadeled. Now ideally you'd want to be in a situation where you didn't have to worry about that, but sadly not. And I get killed because I can't turn quick enough to get into the middle of those torps. So it also kind of shows how sluggish the Myoko is too. It's kind of weird that I labeled this smoke charging because I don't think I actually smoke charge anything this match. May have meant that for another replay. Oh well.